All right, guys, so I have a cryptid horror movie that is really bizarre that I'm going to talk to you about from the Fantasia Film Festival. Let's get into it. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today we have a Fantasia Film Festival movie, a spoiler-free review of a movie called Kryptic, with a K. And it's a cryptid horror movie that is very quirky and bizarre. Now, just a heads up, this movie's fresh, it's new, it's right off the creator's table, so there isn't a lot of trailers and pictures and everything to go along with it, but the movie's complete and I gotta check it out, so I'll do my best to spice it up with other stuff to help your imagination. I am doing the Fantasia Film Festival here that has a ton of new movies coming out. Now, some of these, I don't know when they're going to be releasing. This movie is premiering today on the 22nd at Fantasia Film Festival and the 24th, and then it'll be coming to theaters sometime in October. This is a movie that was directed by Courtney Roy, who, this is their first feature film, and it is actually coming out pretty strong. This has to be one of the most unique and different cryptid movies I've ever seen. The story is essentially about this woman who's searching for this missing monster hunter, cryptozoologist, and she's out in the middle of the woods wandering around, and she realizes that she has this sort of bond with the creature being pursued. It's a creature that you've never heard of, maybe I've never heard of, seem new to me. It does some pretty wild things. Now, instantly, my first thought was, creature feature, eh? I'm in for this one. This is a very different movie, and I want to make sure that I'm very clear about that. I don't want to scare you away from this movie because I actually enjoyed it. I've seen a lot of people who were, they had their perceptions on a specific type of movie before they went into this because there wasn't a whole lot of information. I didn't even have a trailer at the time to even tell you guys about it. I just kind of went in blind because I saw that it was a cryptid movie, and I was like, okay, I want to check this out. And I was actually pleasantly surprised. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that might not like this particular type of movie because it's a really interesting kind of blend of things, okay? Because on one hand, you have this cryptid thing, which they kind of deal with very early on in the film. And then the movie turns into this woman kind of experiencing things in a very different way. She gets affected by this cryptid in some strange way that causes her to bleed white stuff out of her ears. This movie has a extremely dark underlining of like comedy almost. Like it has like this like air about it that is just kind of lingering underneath the surface of this what they call a drama horror thriller. And I wouldn't say that it's like super thrilling, but there is definitely a vibe about this movie that makes you feel like you're tripping. Smoke them if you got them. Trust me. And it's played by Chloe Peary, who she plays this woman named Kay who goes out to the woods. Something happens to her, and when she comes back to the group, she's completely changed in some weird way, almost as if she doesn't even know herself. Then one thing after another leads to another character, another group of people, or another setting of her kind of trying to track down this cryptid, or at least find the person who's missing. There is a very interesting and unique style of direction for this character that she plays. And Chloe Peary really kind of nails it in a way because, like, it's not like a typical story. It's so hard to tell you without really spoiling what's going on. Let's just say one of the characters is acting very bizarre, and it's like they're kind of experiencing the world through this new lens, and it's just very different. It's weird ambiance and this weird vibe about the film that I personally really enjoyed. It wasn't my favorite film that I've ever seen, but some people are really upset about this one, and it blows my mind because nailing this kind of weird thing is not an easy task. The director and the writer had a vision of this movie and they wanted to make something different and unique. Is that personally unique thing going to suit everybody's interests or their expectations? And I think that's where you have to kind of like settle your expectations on this one a little bit. This isn't a creature feature movie where people are getting torn apart and you're going around your typical story. No, this is like if you took Fried Berry, which is a Ryan Coogler film, and then mixed it in with a Cryptid movie, a bizarre mix of things that you're not going to see in many other films, and that may land differently for just about every person that watches it. Me? Personally, I thought it was actually pretty fun. I was glued to the screen. I wanted to know what was happening. I wanted to know where it was going to lead. By the end of the movie, it was a little abrupt, but I still think that it was a really fun ride. The vibe and the like imagery and like all the things and the techniques that they did really kind of affected me as a viewer. And I think that's pretty damn good for someone's first freaking movies. I'm really a fan of it, and I think it's a very unique film about cryptids that you will never ever see. And the cryptid in it is actually pretty wild looking. They never really truly show it fully, but there's just so much imagery that's going on. It really generates this like really trippy atmosphere, man. And I'm all for that. I love weird, trippy shit. And especially if you're gonna make me feel something. And Chloe's performance in this is really just bizarrely unique. She has a lot of range. So like when she's doing something kind of meek, she really nails it. And when she does something bizarre, it just flows so well with her character that you just don't know if she's going to do something bad, good, meek, just all over the place. And it's kind of interesting to see somebody perform this way. She really got the material, and I'm curious to see like how much was this actor, or how much was this director, how much was this writer, because it's just a wild picture. But again, a lot of people are really going to have problems with this because I think their expectations is creature must kill everybody. But this is very quirky, like an underlining of comedy underneath here. It's a mix of a movie. There is that level of comedy underneath it that is just weird and bizarre. Like if you've ever seen the movie Anti-Birth, it kind of has that vibe about it. So it's like Fried Berry, Anti-Birth, and like a cryptid movie. But the cryptid part is kind of like just like the backdrop of this story. It's really about this girl and her experiences with all these weird random strangers that she meets and what is going on. It's a really wild experience, and I think people should check it out. I'd give this one probably about a 7 out of 10. Like it's going to be very specific for a lot of people, but I really actually kind of enjoyed it. You got to lower your expectations about what a cryptid creature movie can be, because this one blows the doors off of any kind of typical storytelling of a cryptid movie. This is much more mental, much more trippy, and way more creative for an indie film. And I think it does a very good job of making a small film feel very big. And that's a huge success in my book. But yeah, what do you think? Do you like your cryptids just creature and kill? Or do you think there's room to make some like really indie magic with it? I would love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. Congratulations to everybody at Fantasia Film Festival for their movies. I'm going through them as fast as I can. I hope you guys will tune in to every single one of these. But thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.